Okay, so this is the box, and we're going to open it now. I haven't looked at the grades. I've been very patient. It's been 10 weeks, which wasn't a long time. I don't have all my books back yet. I still have 3 lower tier books. These are the higher tier books. But fairly fast turnaround. I've heard stories of people waiting much longer, so I feel very fortunate. And the package isn't damaged, so everything's looking like it's in good order. As I'm opening up the box, I'm just going to give you a few updates. I did shop for comics over the past week, and I got some big books. So for those of you who've been watching my channel, let's just say I got my Grail. My Grail comic is coming. So for those of you who've been following my journey, you'll know what that book is. If you haven't, tune in on Saturday when I'm going to do a preview of my Emerald City Comic Con game plan. So basically, it's going to be Saturday's the day before I attend Comic Con, and I get the 3 CGC signature books signed by Jim Lee. And I get to meet Jim Lee. We'll go over basically the comics that I intend to get while I'm at the Comic Con. We'll go over some of the books I got. The Emerald City Comic Con is also, CGC is going to be there for drop-off, so I'm going to submit, I'm debating between 5 or 7 books right now, along with the 3 books that I have for the CGC signatures. So potentially 10 books total will be submitted to CGC at this event, including that Grail book that I mentioned. So Saturday is going to be a big, probably hour-long video. I'm just going to kind of cover the books I'm going after, my strategy for the con, and go over the books that I recently got in my haul. And then on Sunday the 5th, I'm going to basically take some videos at the con itself, and to kind of start to siphon out content for the next month or so, leading up to Christmas, and let you know how the con went, what my thoughts about the whole Jim Lee CGC event, and prices at the con, how I was able to pick up the books I did. I'll probably go over the haul video as well from post ECCC. So a lot of content coming. I'm just very excited. It's been a crazy past couple of weeks, waiting on this submission. Not only that, but I got some stuff. As you know, I got that Batman 608 variant to get signed by Jim Lee. I got some other big books. So, we'll go over that on Saturday, and then just continue to follow me and watch the videos, because after the Comic Con, I'll just be going over all the stuff I got, the experience itself, what it was like, the books I submitted. So I haven't really, I'm still kind of debating which books to submit, but I guess you can give me some feedback on the books I should submit, and we'll go from there. All right, so let's unpack this baby. Got a lot of bubble wrap here. 3 slabs. And I guess the best way to do this is just to pull them out and kind of show you the grade. Let me just pull this. So I don't know these grades. Basically, the 3 books are New Mutants 98, X-Men 120, and Amazing Spider-Man 252. All key books, big books, probably 3 of the top books of the Copper Age. Although that X-Men 120 is technically Bronze Age. And I think the Amazing Spider-Man is the start of the Copper Age, so it's like we're talking early Copper. and then that New Mutants, which is late Copper. So I don't know what book we're going to pull out, but let me tell you. Okay, I'm actually sort of very anxious about these grades because I'm hoping they all come back 9.9s, but I'm kind of worried. I don't know exactly what to expect, but I initially predicted 9.8s across the board. I've tempered that. My expectation now for the books is lower, but not much lower. I'm going to say 9.6s, except for the X-Men 120. X-Men 120 is probably going to be a 9.4. So I'm expecting a 9.4 for the 120, 9.6s for the other two. And if we hit 9.8s in any one of them, I'm very happy. Now, I'm hoping for at least one 9.8. If I don't get a 9.8, I'll be very disappointed. It'll kind of make me reevaluate the way I look at books and how I judge books. Although I will say this, when I submitted this book, I don't have the knowledge of grading that I do now. Over the past 10 weeks, I've kind of studied up on grading. I feel like I have a better sense of what to look for, what a perfect, or not a perfect book, but a 9.8 book looks like. We're talking near flawless. And that's the thing. These books, when I initially submitted them and I looked at them, seemed flawless to me. But probably if I were to look at them now, I might have taken a different approach and taken a bit of a more comprehensive sort of comprehensive protocol for judging the books. But anyway, the books are back. We're going to look at the grades now. So 10 weeks. Okay, so I don't know which book I'm pulling out. I'm just going to pull them out. They're all big books. So let's see here. Okay, so this is the back. I think this, yeah. Okay, so this is the New. Oh, we're starting with the big one. We're starting with the big one, and we got a 9.6. Okay, so I really want a 9.8, but this isn't bad either. And that's the thing, I did hear, so yeah, I do see, yeah, this is, just looking at the corners now, I do realize, like, the cover looks good. The cover looks good. I'll do a detailed sort of, so this book got pressed. It did get pressed, and it does look, so it's off-white to white pages. I'm thinking the page color maybe is what gave it the 9.6, because if it's off-white, you know, this is a weathered book. It's been sitting kind of, you know, in a cold room, cold and hot room. So there is weathering. So it is off-white to white pages. Other than that, you know, I don't think there's all that. There's a little bit of the back cover is not as clean as it could be. So I'll kind of pour over these books in another video. Again, it's kind of what I was expecting. I am disappointed though. I mean, had this come back at 9.8, it would have just been, I would have just been so ecstatic. And, you know, the 9.8 is what really raises the value up on this particular book. Okay, well, you know, I think also the timing of the submission is a little bad too, because I've heard CGC has gotten a lot more critical on 9.8s. They're not giving out 9.8s as easily as they did in the past. So who knows? You know, this, had I submitted this maybe last year, it probably could have come back at 9.8. Although the off-white pages probably is what kept it from being a 9.8. That's my theory. If it's off-white to white, I don't think it can get the 9.8. So I think the page color is what screwed me. Okay, here's the next one. This one is X-Men 120. And yeah, this is, I said this would come back at 9.4. Let's see what we got. Oh, a 7.0. Really? It's white pages, though. What got me the 7.0? That's really off. Well, the corners are very rounded. I didn't think that would be enough. I didn't think that would be enough to get me such a low grade. That's really disappointing. Oh, there are spine ticks. Yeah, see? Spine ticks. There's a bit of a dinged corner there. 7.0 is kind of harsh, though. I mean, there are spine ticks, but they're not really, they're very... Anyway, white pages, that's very disappointing. So there, I do see a crease there on the corner. That I guess couldn't be pressed out. So I'm thinking that's probably what hurt me. That crease. There's a crease right here. Very light crease though, not color breaking. Oh well, 7.0. That's very disappointing. I thought this was a better. Now this I got as a wall book, so I wasn't particularly concerned with the grade when I purchased it as a wall book. But of course, I have a very different approach to buying comics now than I did 30 years ago. Yeah, and it's been 30 years since I've collected comics, or since I've, yeah. All right, yeah, all right, so overall, this has been a disappointing unboxing. I didn't get the grades that I thought I would, so unless this Spider-Man gets a 9.8, which I don't think it will again, with them being as critical as they are, and again, the fact that I didn't really kind of look over the books. I thought my standard for the books when I initially submitted them was probably very layman in terms of the grades. I do realize now that this book, the X-Men book, with those spine ticks, probably would have been tough to get a 9.0. 7.0, though that's pretty harsh. I still think it's a very clean looking copy, but it's still a book for the PC. So it's making me reevaluate the entire way I look at books now, and how hard it is to get the near mint grade. Okay, so this is our last book, Amazing Spider-Man 252, and let's just go to the grade right now, 9.0. Okay. Yeah, well, can't say I'm surprised. I think the expectation, yeah, I'm seeing on the corner now, there are just some edge wear there. This is also off-white to white pages. I don't see any, I see like a minor spine tick there. So yeah, this, and there's edge wear on the back. And there's a they're just sort of blunted corners on all four, not sharp. 9.0, it's still a good grade. And again, these are books I've had in my collection since I was collecting back in high school. This is another wall book that I got. And so, but back then, I wasn't. If the book looked in decent condition, I would just buy it. Oftentimes, it's just a comic sitting in your LCS, and you just buy it off the wall, and you just pay whatever the value was because it's a book you wanted. I think I paid. These were like probably $20 books, all of them. So, yeah, I mean, I gotta say, my expectation was higher, and I think it's just first submission blues. um, yeah, I think for the second submission, I'm not. In fact, the books that I have planned for the submission, the Grail book that I got, I know it's not going to come back a 9.8. I know it's probably closer to an 8.0. And I'm hoping with a clean and a press, we get an 8.5 out of that Grail book. If we get an 8.5, I got a really good deal on that book. And I think it will. I mean, other than like some edge wear. So I posted on my Instagram a picture of the Grail book. If you don't know what it is, go check out my Instagram at Otaku Tour Guide. That book has a little bit of edge wear on the top. Sort of like not wrinkling, but sort of, it's just kind of like these little like bumps, the light little white bumps you see at the top. And I don't know if that can get pressed out, but aside from that, it looks like a very clean book. And so I'm hoping with a press and a clean. I saw the interior of the book. They're white pages, and so I think, I'm thinking we can bump it up to maybe an 8.5. Right now, it's looking about probably a 7.5 with that edge wear, and I don't think there are very many spine ticks, but I do know on the back cover there's just sort of like this light, very light creasing, not creasing, but like kind of like, little dimples and whatnot, that I think can get pressed out. Nothing color breaking on the front cover. So, anyway, we'll go over my submission for what I'm planning to submit. That may change the day of the Comic-Con, because I anticipate I'm going to pick up some books there, and we'll just have to see, depending on what I pick up and the condition of those books. I do want to try to submit the highest grade books that I have, so that the ones I think have 9.8 potential. I do have a few books that are 9.8 potential, and we'll just have to see what they come back as. But I definitely I'm going in now with a totally different view. Like when I submitted these books, that expectation that they would all come back 9.8s, well, as you can see, I had absolutely zero idea of what I was submitting. They all came back very different grades. This is as close to a 9. I thought this might come back at 9.9, but this was, of course, the best condition. This was the worst, and it was really bad. So, and then this one, I'm just glad I got a near mint on this one. They could have given me an 8.5 on this, but again, the off-white to white pages, that's what's killing me. The fact that these were just sitting kind of not in necessarily a temperature-controlled room probably hurt me. It was sitting in a long box, and the room at my parents' place probably just fluctuated in temperature. And again, they've just been sitting with other books, so the fact that they didn't collect mildew or anything is remarkable, but I am disappointed with the off-white. The weird thing is this came back white pages. This came back off-white to white. And this came back off-white to white, so it just doesn't. Then they're all sitting in the same collection, so that's why that happened. Beats me. But anyway, Grails. So thank you for joining me on this journey. Yeah, we got these books back. Finally got the slabs back. These are staying in the PC. They're not for sale. And I have more Grail books coming. So look out for that video on Saturday. We're going to go over my Emerald City Comic Con game plan basically go over the budget that I have, kind of the titles that I want, or the specific comics that I'm looking for. We'll go over my recent haul, the things I picked up most recently, and some good key books in that haul, so you'll probably want to check that out. And then, come Sunday is the day of the con, and so I'm going to meet Jim Lee. I'm going to sit in on his panel, get 3 books signed. I went over the books that I'm planning to get signed in a previous video, so we'll check that out. And then we're just going to buy comics. I'm just going to buy comics, essentially, and also submit 10 books. So 3 CGC signature books, and then potentially 5 to 7 of my comics. And I'm going to get them cleaned and pressed, and then graded. That's the hope. Okay. Well, thank you for watching. It's sort of very anticlimactic. I am a little disappointed, but what can you do? These are the books. These are my books. I can't. It's not like I bought them with the intention of trying to get 9.8s. No, these have been in my collection, I'm still happy that my books are back. So, overall, I think I've learned. I think the thing I'm taking away from getting these books back is just how difficult getting those higher grades is. And that really, you can, when you're buying books, when you're buying comics, right, you really do have to just kind of nitpick every little detail, because I think most of the comics that you're going to run into in the wild, raw comics that you're going to run into, are just going to be lower grade. They're going to be in the very fine category, especially the older comics, because these are all, these haven't been really handled, but they're just, they've been touched, I'm sure some of these have been read. The X-Men has some kind of weird coloring on the back. That's probably what got it such a low grade. There's a weird, discoloration that occurred. It's not severe. I don't know if you can tell that, but you see that right there? There's a little discoloration on that part right there. That's why it got bumped down so much. Because the front looks really good. I'll do another video where I kind of go over the grades in this. I'm sure it'll help a lot of people. We've got 3 different grades. We've got a lower, probably higher, very fine, or near mint minus. We've got a lower, very fine minus, and then we've got almost a 9.8. And I'm sure this one would have gotten a 9.8, but it was the off-white to white pages that dinged us. Okay, thanks for watching.